I started crying so hard because I'd never in my life been pulled over as an adult other than that one time in Arizona. And I started bawling because it was just before Christmas and it was like money was tight.
And now, coming to you from the K2 studios in San Diego, California, it's the world-famous Chris and Christine Show.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? I am Chris.
And I'm Christine, and welcome to the 7th episode of the Chris and Christine Show.
Do-do-do-do, and fantastic. Welcome, everybody.
He's going to say that 7 more times, FYI.
Yes, 7 more times during the course of the show. So you hope you guys are counting, get a counter going. But we are now episode number 7. It is lucky number 7, the 7th episode.
Yeah, and it's been a great week for us. We actually are just finishing out a great family weekend. We had all the kiddos together for the first time since we announced our engagement. We had a lot of fun. On Saturday, we hosted a barbecue for my team from work, and Chris grilled it up like a champ for 23 people.
That's right. I don't mess around. Chef Chris is in the house.
Chef Chris grilled up chicken, brats, corn. One of our friends, Steve, who you've heard us mention before, brought some famous Cardiff brisket. It's called Cardiff Crack. It's really good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was all very good. It was very well done, and it went off smoothly without a hitch. Perfect.
Yeah, it was really amazing. It was our first big event to host together. It was so fun. We hosted it at the clubhouse where I live. It was fantastic.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Fantastic indeed, definitely.
Yeah, but I was so thankful over the weekend because I have a little car. I mean, I'll talk about that in a little bit, but man, Chris's truck came in so handy this weekend.
Right. If you can't figure this out, we are talking about cars tonight a little bit because last week we were discussing a little bit about love and relationships, including our own love and relationships. So I think for this week, we're going to change gears, so to speak, and we're going to talk a little bit about cars. And because we both drive cars, and pretty much everybody out here drives cars, or has a car, or knows someone who has a car, or shares a car. Because everything's so spread out in the city here in San Diego, in LA area. It's so far out. So most people have cars, and there's a lot of cars out here. So,
so we know that's not the case in every area of the country, but we're going to have some fun tonight, and Chris is going to kick it off for us with talking about his car.
Yes, I actually have 2 cars.
Yes, he does.
I know. Can't drive both at the same time, so I switch it off. But my first car I actually have a Ford F-150. I bought it brand new, and it's a 4-door crew cab with the Coyote V8 engine. Mm-hmm. If you know what that is.
He's getting so technical.
I
Bear
know.
with us, everybody.
Yes. It's
a Coyote. Oh!
That's right. It's funny you say that because the Coyote engine, the 5.0 Coyote engine they used in the Mustang and the F-150, it actually, when they first built the engine and they put it together on the dyno machine, when they first ran it on the machine for the first time, they said it howled like a coyote.
That's crazy.
So they nicknamed the engine the Coyote engine. So that's where it's got its name. So I got that engine in my pickup truck. So I have that. That's like my grocery getter, my family road trip car, if I'm going to tow anything, toys to the desert, going to the Home Depot. It's like that kind of vehicle.
Helping me haul stuff out of my apartment.
Right. Moving. It's for moving, for towing, for just all that kind of fun stuff. That's where I got it. 'Cause I had a family and I needed a bigger car. And there you go.
Ladies, look for a man with a truck. I mean, he can have another car too, but don't underestimate the power of a truck. Or buy yourself a truck, because when you need to haul stuff, we really realized that the last couple of days is we couldn't do it in our other cars.
Oh, definitely not, because it seats 6, and so you can haul a bunch of people. And the back seat is really roomy, so there's a lot of room back there. So you actually can stretch out and haul people comfortably back there. Plus, you got room in the back for stuff and everything. It is a truck after all, so you can pull, tow, whatever. So I love it. I love my truck. You know, I've had it for a
I
while.
really like it too. I grew up with trucks though. My dad always had Ford trucks growing up. FYI, we are not sponsored by or endorsing Ford specifically, but Ford, if you're listening, you could, throw a little something our way.
Right, or like a new car would be perfect. Yeah,
we'd
it'd
be
be
happy
great.
to drive that for sure.
Right, and Christine even mentioned a couple times when she has driven my truck before, she said that she loves the sound of it because it has that Coyote V8, and if you don't know, every single person in the world knows the sound of a V8 engine.
Okay, so you said that yesterday. I don't know if I do know the sound of a V8.
Oh, yes, you do.
A V4 versus a
no,
V6
it's not such thing
or
as a
V8?
V4.
Well, I don't know what all these things are. What does V8 mean?
Okay, it means that there's 8 cylinders configured in a V configuration.
So,
There's 4 cylinders on each side of the engine.
That's why it's called a V8?
Right.
I thought it meant like velocity 8
Oh,
or something.
no.
Oh, it's
No.
actually in the shape of a V.
Correct. The cylinders, if you looked at the engine like straight on, you'd see like a piston to the left and piston to the right, like in a big V.
Oh, okay.
You know, like one side is firing on the left, one's firing on the right. It's like a V pattern.
So can I get a V10?
Yes, you can.
So V8's like, like the drink V8.
Yes, pretty much. Yes, exactly. But it does make an interesting sound. And like, if you ever heard a NASCAR or a monster truck or a hot rod or a muscle car, those are all V8s. And it has the most recognizable sound of any engine anywhere.
It kind of has a growl to it, right?
Yes, a nice, deep, low growl.
I do like that about your truck.
Right. So do I. That's why I got it.
Awesome.
So,
but Chris also has a baby, his newer baby that's been new to him for about maybe 15, 16 months now.
I don't count months so much.
I do.
Okay.
She's like 16 months old to him.
Okay. Yes. I also have, on the other extreme spectrum, I have a sports car. Now, the sports car I have, it is a Nissan 370Z. Yes, they still make the Nissan 370Z, FYI. They haven't changed it much since they came out in 2009. But I love it. I love it for the reasons that, like, a lot of people, like, with cars in general, like, the 370Z isn't very high-tech. It has a lot of old school feel to it. It feels like when you drive it, it feels like an old, like, vintage sports car, if that makes any sense. It's not like all high tech and fancy and flashy.
Okay, but Chris had a dream of getting this car for a while. Way before he met me. He's shown me pictures before of him going to car shows, and like this was his dream car. So, babe, how long had you been dreaming of buying yourself a 370Z?
Well, it wasn't so much a 370. It was actually a 350, and before that, it was a 300, and before that, it was like the 240 way back in the day, way before my time. It came out with the 240. Now, the Z line has been around for almost as long as the Mustang. The Mustang only has like 5 years advantage on it. So think about how long the Mustang's been around. I think 1970 was the first Z, and then 1965 was the first Mustang. So, but the Z, I liked the Z back in high school, the 300ZX. Oh, I love that thing. It was like...
So back in 1940?
No. No. Like 50s, but no. Okay. But no, the Z was, the 300ZX came out, and I just loved that thing. The way it looked like a spaceship, super futuristic, super fast. I never could afford one, but the 350 came out, and now the 370 came out, and every year they came out, I just got better and better and better. And it has this, like, it's a pure sports car. We're talking 2 seats, rear-wheel drive, naturally aspirated V6 engine in the front, perfectly balanced. I don't know.
Ladies, he's geeking out right here.
I know.
If you could see him right now, he's like all into it while he's looking at a picture of his Z baby on the wall.
I know. It's not the fastest car in the world, and it's not like the best of this other stuff and all that. And it's not the most comfortable. And to tell you the truth, it's got like no storage at all.
No storage.
Like literally, you put like one suitcase in it and it's packed. Mm-hmm. You got no. But you also don't buy a car like this for like to go to Costco. and things like that. It's like
Or hauling a family.
or hauling a family. It's the kind of car you have like as a sidecar, and that's exactly what I use it for. It's like my backup car. It's like my extra car. It's like my weekend car. I hardly ever drive it. It sits in the garage most of the time, but it's fun to drive when I do take it out. I do love it.
But I will tell you something. He takes extremely good care of his Z. It's incredible. I mean, I've learned a lot about car care from him, but I didn't know that you could wash a car and wax it as frequently as Chris does.
Oh, I know.
Or have as many photos of her on the wall. Like, there's like 1 or 2 pictures of the kids and like 7 of Z.
Oh, well, thank you.
And actually, this year for Christmas, I got some pictures made of the car, like on aluminum things Costco has, where you can take regular photos and get them printed onto like aluminum wall decals.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I got those done for Chris and made a calendar out of his Z because he just loves that car. And I know that it was something that he really worked hard for. And he bought it actually the month before we met. And so,
That's right.
ladies,
That's right.
it was so hot. When he drove up to that first date, I was sitting in my car. He was already there. And I pulled in and he told me, oh, I have a silver car. He'd sent me a picture. Ladies, if your man sends you pictures of his car, admire them. It's like Louis Vuittons for us. It's like a thing. And so
Right, especially if you have a nice car. Because I think there's 2 types of people. There are people who appreciate cars and like their cars, and then people who just drive whatever rolls down the road.
Right. And I had previously been, before Chris and I met, and well, I'd say like a year before that, like I drive whatever I can afford, but I'd actually gotten another car, which I'll talk to you about in a few minutes. But I appreciated the fact that he loved this car, and it was something that was a big deal to him after going through his divorce, getting back on his own 2 feet, buying his house. His car was his next investment, and it was like the first thing he'd ever in his life done just for him.
That's right.
And so it's something that I think it's very symbolic. And so I think sometimes...
And also, too, like, I've been talking about this car.
Right.
And, like, for many, many years. We're talking, like, gosh, I don't know, maybe, like, 15 years. I mean, think about that.
Right.
Something you've wanted for 15 years.
And then you get it.
Or even longer. Yeah, and then you buy it or whatever. It almost comes surreal, you know? Mm-hmm. It was kind of crazy to think. Because, like, I had this thing built up for so many years. I wanted to get this car, win this car. But, like I said, it's so impractical to, like, have this as your only car. It's kind of hard to do, especially with kids, you know. So when I had kids, it was like, okay, well, there goes that dream. But then I had the ability to buy it a couple years ago, so I was able to buy it. Now I have it, and you know, the kids love driving around in it too. It's fun.
Yeah.
I might actually give it to them when they turn 16.
But don't let them hear that.
Oh, yeah. They both want to fight over it and take it around and stuff.
Yeah.
But the problem, though, the problem is that it's a stick shift. Well, it's not a problem for me, but it's a problem for anybody else because nobody can drive stick in this world anymore.
Right.
Christine can't drive stick.
I can't drive stick. I
You
can't.
know, a question is, how many of you out there can drive a stick shift? Wait, nobody? Okay, I didn't think so.
It's funny because, like, if you take a stick shift to valet, sometimes they don't even have valet drivers
That's crazy.
that can all drive stick
You know what's
shift.
funny you said that because when I was at the dealership getting it serviced, like the oil change done on it, they literally had to find one of their crew members that like could drive a stick just to bring it around the front of the
That's
building.
so funny.
Yeah. It's like people don't know how to drive a stick anymore. It's like a lost art, you know?
Right.
So Christine, what do you have?
Well, before I tell you about my car, I actually have to tell you a funny little story. So I was scrolling on social media this week, and this post popped up, and I think it was reposted multiple times, but the post was of a McCall's magazine from 1958, and the title of the article, stick with me here,
Okay.
it was called 129 Ways to Get a Husband from
Ooh.
1958. Yeah. And I was reading through the list and I was laughing out loud because so many of these things, I was like, are you serious?
Were they
like,
very sexist type stuff?
Yes, so much.
Like
so
how to iron, how to wash dishes?
No, it was like, go get a job at like a engineering firm or a law office where you'll meet eligible bachelors.
Oh, because they're there, because they work
Right.
there. Like
Or
work at a guy's
for
place.
Yeah, or work for a conference hosting company where you'll be at a lot of conferences with single or eligible men.
Oh, okay.
So I was reading through it and I was cracking up. But then I looked at number 43 on the list. And guess what it said, Chris?
What'd it say? What'd it say?
Number 43 on this list of the 129 ways to get a husband was, quote, buy a convertible. Men like to ride in them.
Well, of course.
So I guess they were right, because actually when I created my dating profile on Match.com about a year and a half ago, my very first photo on my profile was of me sitting on the back of my convertible down near Mission Bay on a sunny day. I had my teenager take that picture because I love my car, and
Right.
it was like a beautiful day with the bay water behind me. There were sailboats in the background. There was a little bit of breeze. My hair was blowing. I was looking cute. And so that was actually the first ever picture that Chris saw of me. And
That's
now,
right. Yeah, I saw that. Ooh, who's this?
Yeah, now he put a ring on it. So I guess number 43.
What kind of car is
Buy a
it, Christine? Do you tell everybody?
Yeah, so I have a 2018 convertible Camaro. I have a name for her. It's Chantilly. Chantilly. She's a white Camaro convertible. She's a black cloth top that I like to take down. So, of course, I mean, I drive her with the top up, but really my favorite thing to do on a work morning, if it's not like rainy outside and I don't have to take the freeway for a long way, like if I'm just driving from my apartment to work, which is like 5.5 miles, then I take the top down. I have my coffee. I pump up my music, whatever my playlist is. I have a playlist in my car that I call Dance Car Party Jams.
Perfect.
Because it's like, it's my car party on the way to work, and I like crank up the music. Yeah, I'm that girl that you look at and you're like, girl, why are you like
Excited to go
airing
to work?
all your music to the entire world?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I've got it. Yep, I got it going on. So I like to drive with the top down, and I always keep a hairbrush in my purse because of that reason.
Of course,
but
you kind of have to.
It makes me so happy because before I had Chantilly, I had a 2007, I think it was. No, 2001. I don't know. It was a Ford Flex.
That's like the minivan looking thing, right?
Hey,
Well, I'm
it's not a
sorry.
minivan.
Okay,
it looks like a limo.
It's an SUV that looks like a limo or a hearse, right?
Why are you putting down Sexy Flexi?
Oh, that was called Sexy
Sexy
Flexi?
Flexi, she was
I'm
black.
sorry. Oh,
And
black.
she
oh, so there was a
was-
limo or a hearse.
Yeah, my cars are always girls. So Sexy Flexi hosted a lot of girls' weekends. I could fit 7 people in it. It was a great road trip car. I'd like to take like Zeke on his way to his soccer games. I could fit all the gear for the team in the back. But it was so fun to be able to put all of the girls in it and like go to the coast. Well, now I live at the coast, but when I lived up in Fresno,
Yeah.
And then when I moved down here, it was so easy to be able to haul stuff around. But yeah, that's what I had before. It was a Ford. Yay.
Hey, okay, there you go. No
Yeah.
problem.
But
No
now I
problem.
have a Chevy Camaro, and she's beautiful. And Chris takes good care of her for me.
I've washed it. Yes, I've washed Chantilly.
Washed her and waxed
I've
her.
waxed Chantilly. I've taken Chantilly to the gas station, car wash, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Yeah, we take good care of
So-
our cars. So
All right,
yeah,
fantastic
so that's my
on
car.
that. Amazing. That's our vehicles that we have. So,
Yeah, but we've been talking a lot about cars because now that we're engaged and Chris has the truck, Chantilly only has 4 seats and we're a family of 5. And so
Right.
we've been talking about like, ooh, should I like trade in my car and get an SUV? Like, what's the next step? Because I can't just be worried about not being able to take the whole family in my car if maybe something happens to the truck or whatever. So that's what prompted a little bit of the conversation tonight. But before we get to that, we have a little announcement for you. The Chris and Christine Show is now on Instagram at the K2 Show San Diego. Check out our latest pictures, videos, show teasers, and life updates on Instagram at the K2 Show San Diego. And now it's time for Hot Topics. Do.
awesome.
Yeah, okay, so tonight we have fun ones for you. Yesterday, Chris and I were talking about the newest Nissan Z. Dun, da, da, da. And it's getting ready to come out. He was talking about how it doesn't seem like much is changing on this newest model. And it got us talking about new cars and all the bells and whistles that they have. And as we kept talking, we realized that we are getting to a big time of year for the auto business. And that is the time of year when the dealerships start to publish their year-end model clearances. You've seen those, right, Chris?
Oh yeah, they got the newer. They got like what 2019 now, so like 2020 models start coming into the dealership.
Right.
So with the 2019s, they start to just kind of clear them out, just kind of like give them good deals and shove them out your door.
Right. And right around this time is when people start to look for some flashy big Christmas present. And so today,
I love those commercials with
Yeah.
the big bow.
Big
I
red
always want to
bows.
do that with a big bow on the
could do that.
Lexus commercial in the snow. They come out, hey mama, look what dad bought you for Christmas. This is a big brand new car out in
Right.
front of, I always want to do that. But do people actually do that for real?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. Where do you get the bow at? Costco?
They sell them like at the Lexus dealership when you get your Lexus for Christmas. They
Oh, really?
gift you one of those big
No
bows.
way.
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. I actually explored that one time. So
Okay.
So back to our hot topics for today. For you and you only, our hot topic is the tips of knowing when to walk away from the car dealership. But
Like if they try to present you with a big bow as the first thing they give you, like here's your here's your keys and your bow.
Right.
That's not a good sign. Right? I don't know.
right, and I'm gonna need you to chime in a lot on this because I know you have a lot more experience when it comes to cars, so you're gonna have to impart your wisdom.
Okay.
Because it could come in very handy for some of our listeners as they get ready to do some of that pre-holiday auto shopping.
Right. If you're gonna go to the dealership and try to buy like a brand new car, or even a used car from a dealership, these tips may come in handy. Now
Right.
these are tips on when to walk away, right?
Right, tips on when to walk away.
Like if it seems too good for to be true, kind of thing.
Right.
Okay.
So
what you got?
the first one is if they won't quote you a price by email. If a dealer's not going to offer you a price quote by email or responds only to say you should come into the dealership for a quote, it's time to find one who will commit to a price in advance.
Do they normally send you a price by email? I don't
Yeah.
know. Is that a thing they do?
Yeah, actually, when I bought my Flex, that's how I did it because I knew that I wanted a black Ford Flex.
Right.
And the only place that I could find it was in LA. And
What?
so, yeah, they didn't have one nearby because it was a newer model at the time. So I emailed the dealer. They sent me a price quote. They did follow up with a phone call, but that's what made me actually buy from that person. Guess what? It was only his 5th day on the job.
Oh, okay. Well, he didn't have time to screw you over yet.
Right.
Maybe,
He wasn't
yeah.
jaded yet.
Yes, I gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So the number 2 thing is, and I don't know what this is, but you do. They
Oh,
pull
yeah.
out the Foursquare. What's that?
Okay. What they do is that they take a piece of paper and it's got 4 squares on it, like number 4 square or whatever.
Like it's pre-printed, or they just draw it?
I don't remember. But it had 4 squares in it, and each square represented something. Now, one square represented, I think it was your trade-in value, or the other square was like the purchase price of the car, and the other one was like your interest rate, and the other one was like your payment. But what they try to do is it's like this juggle around dance with the different numbers, but the number they try to get you to focus on is the payment. That's all they care about is the payment, because that's basically what we do. We're making the monthly payment. So they'll trick around with the interest. They'll trick around with the trade-in. They'll trick around with the other things. Just to get the payment to what they want to do. They may actually make the payment lower, but interest is higher, or your loan is longer, or you're paying more for the car. It's this little dance. It's called the Foursquare.
See, I could have totally used this when I went to buy Chantilly. Although I did have a friend that worked at the dealership, so they were
Okay.
advocating on my behalf. But I just walked in and I was like, I don't know what I want, but I'm willing to pay this amount every month. And they were like,
Right.
we'll
Well,
make it work.
That's because that's
like,
all they focus on.
Right.
The dealerships is designed. That's why you see them advertising like the different monthly prices and things of that sort. Because most people focus on the monthly payment because that's what we're paying for. And they use this trick to kind of like change things around. So all you're looking at is a payment. You didn't notice the fact that they added another year of payments
Oh, wow.
onto your loan.
Right.
Because you're like, oh, the payment's X amount of dollars. Great. And they say, well, we can make it even lower. Oh, really? Fantastic. So they make it even lower, but then they add a year to your
Oh
loan.
my gosh,
Or-
they did that to me.
I'm sorry to
Oh,
tell you.
I should have walked away.
There
I
you
love
go.
Chantilly though, so
I
all that
know.
goes to say you may still choose the car anyway. Okay, the next tip is when to walk away is if they're pressuring you to buy.
Oh, gosh.
Like if a dealer's going to ask, This is the question. What will it take to get you into this car today?
They always say that
Right?
too. I've heard that before. I've
Right.
heard that many of times.
Yeah. That's
Oh, gosh.
pressure.
Oh yeah, they try
Especially if you walk on the lot and you're like, I'm just looking, I'm window shopping. And then they're like, well, what about one of these 5? And you find one you really like in the color that you like. And they say, what's it going to take for you to drive off in this today?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And they say, let me get the key for you right now. Let's go quick little test drive, and it goes from there. And then gosh.
Right. Okay, and then the next tip of when to walk away is the final hard sale.
Oh, what's that?
That's the car buying experience. This is what it says in this article. The car buying experience sours when you go to the finance and insurance office. This is where you'll be pressured to buy extras like extended warranties, VIN etching, upholstery protection, and gap insurance.
Oh, gosh,
Most are
yeah.
unnecessary or can be negotiated down in price, so do your research.
I know. I got suckered in this when I bought my car. I kind of was like, whatever, just whatever, throw it on there. Yeah, give me the works. But now I'm kind of regretting it because I'm looking at the value of the car and what I owe on the car, and it's like, oh gosh, like a lot of these things you probably don't even need, like the gap insurance. If you don't know what gap insurance is, you know what that is, Christine?
I do. I think it's important. I've never had it on a car,
Oh,
but
really?
I really considered it with Chantilly.
Well, the way it works is that you are insuring the loan if you were to get in an accident. It covers,
Or have the car stolen, right?
I don't know about theft, but I know for accidents for sure. Like, for example, say you drove off the lot, you bought the car for $30,000, for example, right? But with financing and interest and all that junk, you paid like, I don't know, say $35,000 or $36,000. But when you leave the lot, you ever heard this? The car actually loses value the second it gets off the lot, right? Right. So instead of being worth 30, say it's worth 25, but you owe 35. That's a $10,000 gap.
Right.
So if you get an accident, crash it, boom, the insurance company is supposed to only cover what the car is worth, the
Right.
25. Now that's a $10,000 gap that somebody has to cover. Now the insurance you buy at the dealer will cover that, but
Right.
it's like an extra like $5 a month or whatever it is. I don't know. I got it on my car. I kind of regret getting it, but
And I didn't get it on mine. But now
Right.
she's valued at less than what I owe, which is never a good thing.
And
But
I've heard
that's because I have high miles on her.
Right, but I also heard stories where people said they've had the gap insurance and it's covered like everything. Like it paid off their car, paid off everything, and the gap insurance worked for them. But we're also talking about somebody got in a car crash. Now, in order for it to work, you have to crash the car. And I don't plan on crashing my car.
Right.
So that's just me.
Yeah. The one thing that I did negotiate when I got Chantilly was the cost of my extended warranty.
Oh, yeah.
And they were saying, well, this is the price and this is your monthly payment. And I said, I'm not willing to pay that. That's over my budget. And I was actually hardlining it. And that's a deal breaker for me. They're like, well, what's it going to take? And I said, well, you're going to need to bring down the price of the warranty if you want me to walk out with this car today. And they ended up coming back with negotiating on the price. And so I got the warranty that I wanted for my car, and I got it for the price that I wanted, and I look hot while I'm driving it.
Fantastic. There you go. Win, win, and a win.
Yeah, it is. So those are our tips for when to walk away from the dealership. So remember them if you're getting ready to go hunting at those year-end model clearances, or if you're going to do some pre-holiday auto shopping. And if you do end up getting a new car and you're one of our listeners, get one of those big red bows and send us a picture.
Oh, yeah. If you're not going to use it again, I think I can take it. I can probably use it for something in the future. Wink, wink, wink. I don't know. We'll
Is that
see.
you saying you're going to buy me a car?
I'm not saying nothing. What are you talking about?
Well,
All right,
that was our first hot topic, and we're going to come right back with our second one for you.
The Chris and Christine Show is available everywhere on Google Play with Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. Okay, welcome. Here we are. We're back again for hot topic number 2. Now, since you guys just bought that brand new car, whatever car it is, you're probably going to have a lead foot. You're probably going to go real fast. And we have a list of all the states in America where a speeding ticket can cost you on the average. And this is an average cost. I got the top 10 right here in front of me. The top 10 states in the United States that's going to cost you the most money if you get a speeding ticket in that brand new car you just bought.
I can't wait. Let's go.
Okay, so here we go. Number 10, we have the state of Hawaii.
Okay, that's not good news. Good news for us, especially getting ready to go on vacation.
I know. I've been in Hawaii.
Uh-oh.
So it's funny. I've driven in a few of these states down this list. I'm looking at it. But in Hawaii, a speeding ticket could average you about $200.
That's crazy. I mean, that doesn't seem like a lot in comparison to what it costs in California, but that is a lot of money.
Right. Number 9, we got Rhode Island. Well,
I've never even been there.
Nearby, but it'll cost you about $225 per ticket.
Okay.
The state of Florida, where a ticket can cost you $226.
Okay. That's a close one to Rhode Island.
I know. The state of Texas, the big old state of Texas, where there's a lot of open roads, can get you a ticket for $229.
See, I could see that. And I think that there's less people for the land space, so I could see that it's like trying to recoup as much money as possible.
That's possible. I have no idea how their tax system goes out there. I mean, who knows?
Now,
But,
did this list say like how many average tickets they have, or is this just the overall average cost?
I believe these are the average ticket cost for the first time offense. It could be this price.
So don't drive through Texas and get your first time speeding ticket, people.
Right. Well, it gets worse than that. Here we go. Number 6, we got New Hampshire for $248.
Ooh, now New Hampshire and Rhode Island aren't that far away. So imagine if you're just driving through those New England states and just racking them up.
Oh, I know. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
And then we go to the great state of Arizona. I've driven in Arizona, and I never got a ticket. But if you did, it would cost you about $250.
Okay, I did get pulled over in Arizona, but they didn't give me a ticket.
Oh, you got lucky.
I was going fast.
What? Really? You got out of a $250 ticket?
Yeah, I was 19, and it was nighttime. I was driving cross country to go to college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
was very lucky. Saved $250.
Well, this number 4 on my list, well, I guess it's the state of New York is number 4. When I think of New York, I think of New York City. I think of traffic. I think of not going anywhere. I think of traffic jams. So I think of not speeding. But if you did speed in New York, you get a fine of $300.
Okay.
Now we're getting up there, $300.
That's a lot.
Mississippi, who would have thought of this? The good old Mississippi, you can get a fine of $300 also on this list as number 3 for speeding in the state of Mississippi.
Okay, now I think that's crazy because the cost of living in Mississippi is a lot less than on the West Coast. So if you were to look at it in terms of what $300 would purchase in California, it may be more like $1,000 in purchasing power. So that's a lot of money on a
I see what you're saying, like inflation or value or home cost,
right,
cost of
living, that kind of stuff. So that's a lot of money in Mississippi.
Well, our next 2 states are well, this state I've never been to, although my company is sending employees up to this area of the country. The state of Alaska. In the state of Alaska, you also get a ticket for about $300. It comes in at number 2. Now, number 1, I've driven in this state. I've sped in this state. I think everybody who has gone to Las Vegas on that stretch as sped from like State Line to the Vegas, it's just like a big straightaway. Everybody sped through that section. But if you did and you got a ticket, you could be facing a fine of up to $1,000.
And that's kind of the average, right?
No, I think it said maximum fine
maximum.
on the store,
Okay.
up to $1,000.
No, I could just imagine like that movie The Hangover, like
Oh, yeah.
people just speeding through the desert, but that's so much money. Like
For a
you just
speeding
won it on the
ticket.
you won it on the tables, and now you're gonna lose it to the highway patrol.
I know. Well, actually, not called highway. What do they call that?
They call it the Nevada Highway Patrol.
That's right. They were
Right,
Nevada.
NHP.
That's what it was. It was different. We're so used to seeing CHP out here because we're in California. But and speaking of California, you're like, well, wait a second. I heard top 10. I didn't hear California on that list.
I thought that would be number 1.
We all would when we pay taxes and crazy cost of living out here. But check this out. California comes in at number 45 out of 50 as far as like pricing for speeding tickets at only $35 average.
That is crazy. Maybe it's $35 per mile over the speed limit.
No, I think what it is, it may be like $35 for the ticket, but when you go to court, it's like court fee, $55. Parking fee at the courthouse, $12. Like,
That's crazy.
Like, they probably add everything up to. It's probably what it is. Because $35. I've got tickets before in California, and I don't remember what I paid, but I know it wasn't $300. I know that much.
Well, I'm gonna fess up. I got a speeding ticket. It was back when I was driving Sexy Flexi. It's not been since I was driving Chantilly, but I was driving on a toll road coming from Irvine area, and it was actually.
Oh, you didn't pay the toll? Is that what happened?
No, I had my fast track, and so I was paying the toll, but I was coming down this hill, and I
Right.
was trying to get to work because I was coming from an appointment.
You
a
know,
doctor's
officers
appointment.
love hearing, I'm on my way to work, sir. I'm on my way to work. I'm in a
Oh
hurry.
my gosh, I started crying so hard because I'd never in my life been pulled over as an adult other than that one time in Arizona. And I started bawling because it was just before Christmas and it was like money was tight. And I just moved down to San Diego like a year before. And the officer was like, ma'am, do you know how fast you were going? And I was like, yes, I do, officer. And he's like, how fast were you going? And I said, I'm really afraid to say because it was really fast. It was like a 65 zone. Chris, I was going so fast. I was going 89.
Oh my goodness.
I know. It's a new side of me.
I've done that before.
Right.
you know?
But he's like, ma'am, you were going really fast. And I was like, I know, I'll own it. Like, I know you have to do what you have to do. And he's like, if I have to do what I have to do, I actually would have to impound your car. Because I was more than 20 miles over the speed limit. It was like
Whoa.
excessive speed. So he was very, very gracious and only wrote me up for 84,
Oh, wow.
19 instead of 20.
Okay.
I dodged
okay.
a bullet and I don't speed since then. FYI, people don't speed.
Well,
And pay your tickets on time because there's extra fees.
That's right, because that's what they get you on all
Right.
that stuff.
Right.
And hey, speaking of this list, if you were to speed, not saying we condone speeding, but if you were to speed and you want to pick a state to speed in, I would speed in the great state of Oklahoma, where it's only going to cost you $20 for a speeding ticket.
That's crazy.
You got that in your wallet, you know?
That's crazy. I wonder if it's just like a slower pace of life. Maybe people don't speed as much, or maybe it's just a wealthier state and they don't need the money.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You know, who knows? Who knows? But that's the list, and there we go. That's our great list of states to cost for speeding tickets.
Super
Enjoy.
interesting.
Enjoy, everybody.
Enjoy these hot topics today. They're so fun.
Okay, and now we're going to play a fun little game called Would You Rather?
Ooh, yes. Let's
Now,
do
this
it.
is all car related today because we are talking about cars and car type stuff. So I'm going to stay on point, stay on topic, and here we go. Christine,
Yes.
are you with me here? You
I'm
ready
here.
to
I'm
play
ready.
Would You Rather?
Would
Come
you
on
rather.
down. You're the next contestant on Would You Rather.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so here we go. Would you rather have the choice to be able to drive your dream car? Now I'm talking any car in the world. No price at all. No
Mm-hmm.
price tag. Any dream car you want for 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
It's yours. You get to drive it, do what you want with it. Or also for the same week instead, you get to have a private limo service for that same week.
Ooh. Okay, so it depends on what the week has in store for me. I honestly don't really have a dream car in mind. I would prefer the limo service. Here's why. I do a lot of driving back and forth between school districts and up
Right.
north to go be with Ezekiel. And I've said to my assistant at work before, oh my gosh, I could get so much work done if I just had a driver. I would
Right,
love
right.
on a
Oh, wait,
super
your work
busy
doesn't
week.
give you guys drivers? They don't give-
No, public
Oh, man.
education, no.
Oh, please.
No. But I would love to have a private limo service drive me around. But my assistant, Sandra, one time she was like, it would be so cool if they just let me like take a van and like drive you guys to, when we go between districts, we stack them up one after another. And so it's a day of like, we could be out in Julian and then out in Warner and then Borrego and then Ramona. And you're losing all of this productive work time in between.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so if I had a driver and I had Wi-Fi in that limo,
Oh, wow, even better.
shoot, I could get so much done. But if I was asking Ezekiel, my son, then he would say he'd take the dream car and he would want a Tesla.
Okay.
Yeah, he really wants a Tesla.
Oh, wow.
He wants to drive it. He
Oh,
just wants to
really? Which
sit in
one
one.
does he want to do? The one with the wings that go up, the doors that go up, like the gull wing door ones? Or
Yeah, so he likes both. He likes the cars. When we drive past the cars and he sees them parked anywhere, he's like, Tesla, and he wants to like go inside of them. But I took him to the Tesla dealership it's like the showroom in La Jolla.
Right.
And he really liked the SUV, and he did go in the one with the
Right.
wings.
It's so, I see that thing parked, and I'm wondering, how do they get out of the back seat if they're next to a car? Because those doors like swing out and up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they kind of go up and then like they wing up.
Nobody can see you. Christy's doing the hand motions with her hands right now.
I look like Karate Kid.
I know. I'm like, oh yeah, I see it, but
Yeah.
no listeners can't see it. But they can imagine. She's doing
Right.
this like swinging motion with her arms, like a flapping like a bird.
I look like Karate Kid. It's
She
like,
does.
Sensei. Yeah.
She does. Fantastic.
But he likes both of them. I think he wants the car itself, but I think anything Tesla would be awesome. So if we have any listeners that have the ability to like let us have a Tesla overnight, we would like love you forever and always. It'd be so fun.
Right. Or how much does it cost to charge that thing? And how long is it charged? And does that thing take a normal like iPhone charger or something special?
Can I just like plug it in like my nightlight?
Right. And how's that work? You know.
Yeah.
And what happens if you run out of juice? Do you have to like? The thing's got solar power. That'd be kind of cool. If they had like a solar powered roof that like charged as you went. Why'd they make that?
Oh, that's so smart.
They should have that. If they don't already, Tesla, get on that.
Right, maybe it's because you're moving, so you're not like absorbing the sun.
Doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. The sun, it works off light. So solar works off actually sunlight hitting it.
Well, at my work, we have charging stations, but they're connected to solar panels, so it's kind of the same thing.
Right.
You're getting charged by the sun. There you go.
Perfect.
So anyways, thank you all for joining us this weekend for this Would You Rather, for all of our fun car-related topics. Chris got to be our producer this week, and it was super fun to get to go
That's
into
right.
an area of his love.
You're welcome, and you're all welcome. You know.
And he did not say fantastic 7 times,
Wait,
FYI.
I'm running short. Fantastic.
But thanks so much for joining us this week, and we look forward to having another great episode next week where we're going to talk about something really fun that we haven't quite decided on yet.
That's right. That's next week. And until then, I will see you guys later and have you guys all have a fantastic week.
Remember this week that life is too short to wake up in the morning with regret.
So love the people who treat you right, forget about the ones who don't, and believe that everything happens for a reason.
If you get a chance, take it. If it changes your life, let it. Nobody said that it would be easy.
They just promised it would be worth it. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Chris.
And I'm Christine, and until next week,
Keep moving forward.